Baruch Shechianu v'kimanu v'gyanu l'zman hazeh. To finish 2/3 of Shas, not something to sniff at, and it happens because we learn a little bit every day. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says that Shir Mishnayis koydem l'chol davar, Shir Mishnayis is oisis neshama. So it's a wonderful thing we do here, and tonight we want to dedicate our learning to Saba's brother on his yard site, Yosef Rafal ben Menachem Mendel, and we'll learn for Yochanan Yosef ben Mashi should have a refuah shalema. We're dedicated by the Fisher family, Lila Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbat Shlomo ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. We're dedicated Lila Nishmas David ben Chaim, refuah shalema for the Yomis ben Chaisar, Yaakov ben Bas Yeleah, Schus of Avram and Yom ben Shbamak Yudas and family, by Yol Klugman and family. The procedure on my shver was successful, Baruch Hashem, and he's recuperating in the hospital in Jersey Shore, and his name is Avigdor ben Rifkin, the Bas Chayesar, Chana Bas Shashabina, Moshe Meir ben Esther Fadel, Yitzhak ben Sim ben Dusha, and Beir ben Chayesara. They should have a refuah shalema b'sek shechel Yisrael. The last Mishna in Seder Nezikin, Kayin Kaidem l'Levi. A Kayin always becomes before a Levi. When, for example, it comes to an Aliyah at the Torah, and a Levi comes before Yisrael. Yisrael comes before a Mamzer who was created in sin. For example, if a man and a woman have adultery, it makes a Mamzer, or any other Isur Karis, and since he was created by sin, so Yisrael comes before a Mamzer. A Mamzer comes before a Nasan. A Nasan is a Ger Givoni, and since a Mamzer is born from Jewish parents, so he comes first. The Nasan Leger, the Nasan, who comes from a lineage of converts, he was born from Jews, so he comes before a new convert. V'ger le'eved meshucher, a convert comes before an emancipated Eved Kanani, because the Eved Kanani is from a cursed nation, and therefore, even though now, if he was emancipated, he's a regular Yid, but since he was cursed, so a ger comes before him. Now, this is all when everybody is the same. A masay bizman shekulan shavin. Aval imhoya mamzer talmid chacham. Let's say he was a mamzer, a child from a sinful union, but he was a talmid chacham. V'kayin gadol amaretz, which happened in the Bayesheni, where they sold the office to the highest bidder. So even though the Kohen Gadol gets a chance to go into the Kodesh Kodashim, the Torah Yekarahi Mipninim. The Torah is more precious than the Kohen Gadol Anichnas Lefnei Lefnim. So Mamzer Talmid Chacham Kodenim, the Kohen Gadol. I'm going to leave out the last two words, but we understand that he comes before the Kohen Gadol, who is not a Talmid Chacham, and we will have a siyum for anybody that wants to join us the Monday of the 9 days at 6:45 in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Gedalia Engel. Monday of the 9 days. Now, to the start of Seder Kachim. Seder Kachim is a wonderful thing to learn now as we are in Ikvis of the Mashiach and getting ready in Mirz Hashem for the Beis Hamikdash Habanuya. As we are in the 3 weeks, in the period known as Bein HaMetzarim, what could be better than to learn about what was done in the Beis Hamikdash? So, Kol HaZevachim Shenizbechu Shaloi Lishman. Any kachim that was slaughtered for the wrong designation. Let's say you offered an oila, a burnt offering, and it was slaughtered as a shlamim. You had in mind that it was a shlamim. It's kosher. It's not disqualified because the kohen had the wrong designation. The owner has to bring another carbon, because since it was offered shaloi lishma, he didn't fulfill his requirement. The carbon is good, but and for example, if let's say you offer the shlamim for the wrong designation, you're allowed to eat the meat. The zrika is matter the meat, even though it's shaloi lishma. However, the bailam have to bring another carbon. Chutz min ha-pesach min ha-chatas. Except for the carbon pesach and a chatas. There, if you offer it for the wrong designation, the carbon is completely disqualified. Ha-pesach bizmanai. When it says pesach, you see a pesach is a tricky carbon. If you set aside a carbon as a pesach and you offer it before Pesach, it's kosher as a shlamim. Now there's no disqualification if you have in mind shaloi lishma. But when you offer the Pesach on the 14th of Nisan, when it's supposed to be offered, if you do it shaloi lishma, it's disqualified. And vachatos b'chol hazman. And the sin offering, when we know that if we do any isur kares unwittingly, like eating chaylev or dam, entering in the mikdash while tamei, eating kachim while tamei, sleeping with a sister, if a person does these things unwittingly, he has to bring a chatas, and if the kohen does it with the wrong designation, so then it's disqualified entirely. Now Rebbe Eliezer adds a third carbon. Rebbe Eliezer says the same thing as if you do an oshim shaloi lishma. Let's say somebody commits me'ilah. He benefits from kachim unwittingly to the amount of a shava pruti. He has to bring an oshim me'ilas. So Rebbe Eliezer says if you offer an oshim shaloi lishma, it's also completely disqualified. Rebbe Eliezer oimer af ha'oshim ha-pesach bizmanai v'achatas v'oshim b'chol zman. And Rebbe Eliezer's argument is a very simple argument. The chatas is brought for sin, and the oshim is brought for the sin. Just like the chatas, if it's done for the wrong purpose, it's completely disqualified, so too the oshim. So I'm Rebbe Eliezer, chatas ba'alachet, va'oshim ba'alachet, ma chatas psula shaloi lishma, if done for the wrong designation, af oshim pasul shaloi lishma. And the Gemara says also the Rebbe Eliezer cites a pasuk. The pasuk says, ka chatas ka oshim, that the same din that applies to a chatas also applies to an asham. Rabbi say tonight, after Marav, we will have the Daf Yomi, followed by a Chumash.